friends, welcome back to the channel. It is Lori again. I am back with another homeschool curriculum video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing what CC classical conversations resources I'm going to be using to pair up with cycle 1. If you're new to my story, I am Lori. I am a mom of 2 girls, and this is our 3rd year of homeschooling and our 3rd year of going and doing classical conversations with the community. Our community meets on Wednesdays. This year we are doing cycle 1, how CC works. They have 3 different cycles, and each year you do a different cycle. So we've already done cycle 2 and cycle 3. Now this is the first time doing over cycle 1, and I'm also a tutor. Last year was my first year tutoring. I'm still going to be a tutor this year. Main part of CC curriculum is their main book that they give you. Has all 3 cycles in it. So focusing on cycle 1, it has all the memory work that you need. So this is the other parts. You saw my other curriculum videos, which is all the other stuff I'll do with my kids. All the rest comes from here, and some of these other resources that you see, I'm just expanding on this stuff. So you'll see the things I'm going to be doing for geography this year. I usually didn't do much extra science because I am not a science person, but I came across this bundle, these other moms, and they put together a series, and it goes directly with CC science. And I was like, you know what, Lord, just try it. So I'm going to try that. The Bible, which is not on here, is also still I'm using Driven by Grace. So I'll share that. Probably do additional Latin stuff maybe next year as my eldest daughter gets closer to challenge. This year I'm trying adding in a science, doing a little bit more of history and focus read alouds through this other program that I got. So in general, this is the other main hub that I go from to the Bible first. So this is Driven by Grace. This is the activity book. Both my daughters got it. She also offers now, which I'm so excited about, is the new thing, is Spiral Bound. And then she also offers 24 tabs, which because CC foundation levels are off a 24-week school program. So she helps you break it off each week for each lesson. So I already have them, both my kids' books tabbed and my book tab. And this is what we do in the morning. As we start our day, we come downstairs, we eat breakfast, and then I move to our table and we start with this. And then we usually break and I go and do some physical movement and stuff, and then we actually come back and do the rest chunk of our curriculums, all of our other stuff. So this is what I'm using for Bible this year. I'm really super excited for it. The thing that I told you that I'm adding on for science this year, that I usually never do anything extra for science, besides that they do a hands-on science thing at Community Day, and that's usually about the top of my science, besides my kids just memorizing that little portion of science for that day. But this looked intriguing to me, and it looked easy enough to follow along. Company called Science with Friends, and it goes, I told you, directly with CC. It's actually, the website is called learningwithfriends.com, and I'll put that up here and make sure to give a link. This year we're doing, they have each program based off what cycle you're doing. So I only bought the stuff for cycle 1. Fun and pretty simple experiments, but so this year we're going to be doing a 12-week of biology, a 12-week of earth and science, and then they also offer a 5-week of weather, which is all similar topics that we're going to be learning about with our main curriculum. They also come with, so that's all the mom parent guide, which goes through the experiments of what you need. Then they also offer student lab notebooks. I think this is optional. You don't have to do the student labs, but I did it. I just thought maybe that would have my kids be more engaged in what they're doing. As you can see, I have them spiral bound up top and already printed for me. I went through another source. I'm forgetting the name at the top of my head, but I will make sure I have it linked down below of the source I went through. I thought it was reasonably priced. The quality is great. They're great color, easy to read. They did all this for me, and you can pick different amounts of how much money you want to spend. I just went with the basic clear front and the spiral bounds up top. And again, it got to me fairly quickly, and I was fairly impressed with this printing company that printed all these for me. Printed all of mine and all my kids' stuff. So the kids have their little lab books. I have my main lab book. So that is my additional resource. The other new resource that I got for this year is another classical conversations mom that I follow online. And she comes out with her own little guides of recommendations of read alouds, and she too goes along week by week of what to do. Since this is my first time going through cycle 1, and my kids are getting older, I feel like now that they're older I can really start adding more to it and go more in depth with our learning than the first 2 years. So she has an ancient history unit study, and I got printed off the student guide. I got that same printing place to print this and bind it for me, spiral bound it for me, which I am so excited about and love. But the thing she gives here at the start, she gives you all the resources and a code to find all the resources. Now she does offer something different for Bible. I am not following her Bible recommendations. I'm doing the Driven by Grace. She also gives a science book that you could follow along. I am not doing her science part. I am doing the Learning with Friends science. And then I did get her 2 history books that I'm going to do. Her geography book. No, I only got one of her history books. So I got a history and a geography, but then I did order all of the read alouds. I do plan on doing that, her read aloud suggestions. So again, keep going deeper. And then she gives you a little bit how to kind of approach each subject. But what's really cool is she just guides you through it. She tells you again whatever memory work you want to review that day, like what week you're on. Okay, let's review week 1's math. You can put notes here on this. But she too goes by a week of what to do. And she tells you kind of what to do. And I think it's based off a 3-day curriculum. So it's only 3 days out of the week you're doing this, because again, I like it because it makes up for that. You usually have a community day, so you really only have 1 day off. So I like that. So you can do that. I will probably do this Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. So our Thursdays are quite busy, but we'll see how it fits. I might do it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, or just Monday, Tuesday, Friday. I haven't decided yet. But she tells you, again, if you're doing the Bible, mine would be the other programs. The read aloud, I am going to follow along. So like day 1, you read the first 3 chapters. Day 2, you're going to read 4 through 5. Things that I do when I do read alouds, I either do read alouds when my kids are eating or having a snack. Other things I do for my kids are doing a read aloud. Sometimes they just sit and listen to me. That's rare, but sometimes they do. Or they're coloring or doing something. You can have them play with something that's doesn't revolve too much. But I find either when they're eating or when I can have them sit down and color. I have a variety of notebooks and art stuff for them to do that. And these are the 2 sources, forgot to show, that she recommends. A child's history of the world, and she tells you again what page to read and how much, depending on what week you're on. So I like how that's already laid out for me. I don't have to think. And this is going to be help with the geography, Ancient World Atlas, which I'm super excited about. Again, I think she tells you what page to look at on what day and what week. So again, she laid out a lot of the groundwork for you. And so I'm really excited to kind of try that resource into my CC this year. But another source, I really want to do better with geography with my kids. I don't push it too much at home. And again, now that they're older, at their 3rd and 4th grade, I'm like, okay, now my one daughter's only a few years away from Challenge. I want to help her more with drawing, and my kids love to draw. So, well, Mom said you get this tracing paper. So I just bought this off Amazon, so you can check out our Amazon storefront to get it. The exact one I got. So it's just tracing paper. Before I get to the tracing stuff, I forgot. I have these pull-out binders, which you've seen my videos of me showing how I set these up. So this one is set up as, this is 12-week binder, and this is a 12-week. It'd be great for my CC to hold on my weekly memory work. So that's why this year is different. My cycle 2 and 3 are one big one together that holds 24 weeks. So this year it's different, which I think I might kind of like, that I can store this one away and use this one and then switch it when it's the second half of the school year. But it's set up the same way that I showed in all those videos. I have them tabbed out for the first 12 weeks, and behind each tab is all the extra stuff. But one of the main things that's in here is the fridge facts, which is my kids do, so part of their memory work is that they handwrite out all the memory work for each week. But what else is in here besides the fridge facts? I'll show you. Michelle helps me out do all this again. But stuff like this. This is, I would take into my, when I'm doing my weekly tutor work with my class, and I'll probably do my board something similar to this. But I would take this in as I'm reviewing it. The Latin, I sometimes like to take in. Sometimes some of the past they really help. But the ones I really like to take into my tutor class that I have in here is the maps. And I get all this off the CC Connected website, if you're a member of that. And again, so this is something you would take the tracing paper, rip a piece of paper out, the child would lay it over this, and then they would trace it. So it's another way for them to learn the geography as well. But then I have extra things that I got off the CC Connected as well, other map stuff. So each day I'm hoping to kind of do something map-based with my kids. And I told you they can, I'll tell them that they can do this on their own. That's what I got the tracing paper for. And the other resource, I actually used this resource last year, and it did pretty good. So I was like, I'm gonna try it again, is draw the word. She had America last year. So she had tons of other ones. I just focused on draw the world. This is an outline of the continents and the oceans. So it's just a basic one. I thought, I'm not sure yet how I'm gonna incorporate in. I'm probably gonna stick to the maps I've already printed off CC, because again, they go week by week what that kid is focusing on, what the child is learning. that week for the memory work. This is just overview, so like it might help them like just generally be able to generally draw the world. Like, okay, here's all what kind of North America would look like. And so I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to incorporate this one in yet, and if I'll buy any of her other resources if I feel I'm not getting enough. And there's some other resources. Another resource I actually came across, Pinterest, and it's a paid program. And this mom, again, is a CC mom, and she created ways of teaching and drawing the geography. But it's a paid program, or can't remember if it's a monthly thing or if it's just a one-time payment. I can't remember. The reason why I haven't shared it yet is because I haven't decided yet if I'm going to invest into that program. I know here we are just a few weeks away from our first day opening. So I'm going to look into it this coming week, and I'll let you know if I end up deciding to get it or not over on Instagram. So make sure you follow me over there to see if I end up buying any extra programs for that. Another thing that I got from CC's library is the Kings of Rome. I believe this goes along with Cycle 1. It's another read aloud resource. I haven't figured out. I think I'm going to do it, but I just don't know if I'm going to have time to read it. I bought this before I bought that other ladies program who gives you a whole bunch of read alouds to do each week. So I haven't decided. I know this comes right from CC, so obviously I know it's going to be a great resource of telling stories of history and stuff that goes along with Cycle 1. I told you I just haven't decided yet if I'm going to use it or not. It really depends. If we have extra time in our day and we have nothing else to do, maybe I'll pop this out and open it. So I haven't decided yet. So I'll let you guys know. The other thing that I have in my little flip open binder for each week is I did this program our first year of doing CC. I didn't do it last year. I don't really remember why, because we used it for the first year, but we didn't really use it. Like, I was really good for the first few weeks, but the second half of the school year I didn't really keep up with it, so I was hesitant last year to invest in it. This year I decided, you know what, I'm going to give it a try because my kids do love to draw, and I thought it's just other ways of learning. This is again for the science part. This lady focuses on drawing the science part of the CC memory work. So I might just do this one day a week, add it to one day of their memory work one day. Is the classic drawing out the science. So she tells you kind of what to do. She gives you step-by-step instructions for how to do it. Then she also gives you a black and white, kind of like what the final product is going to look like, but then she also gives you a colored version if you kids want to color it. So this is just another fun thing you can do. You can play this while the memory work is playing in the background, while you're cleaning up or getting ready for the day or moving on to a different activity. It's just something you can just add in one day a week. So again, it's one drawing per week. I'm trying to show you a different one that has a little bit more to it. So here's one. This is a week 3, I believe. And it's how to draw an animal cell. So she gives you step-by-step how to do it if your child is interested in that. Or you can just go right to the full-blown thing. And if your kid's young, you can get tracing paper and have them go over and trace it if you want. Or just have them do their best job that they can do. And then she also offers a colored one. So again, it's another just fun, different way of learning the science this year. So I must admit I'm expanding a little bit more on that this year. The science and the geography, and then I'm doing a little bit more read alouds. I am still part of, we have a living learning library here in our area. And we also have, with connection with that, the lady that owns the living library, she puts bins together per week on basis of any of the core subjects in CC. So it could be a book that goes more about whatever artists we're learning about, or the geography, or anything that she feels would support whatever something you're learning for that week. And she does a bin per week. And so there's a group of us moms, and we just rotate the bins throughout the school year. So she also provides other resources of reading and going deeper. So that's pretty much, I believe, all of the extra stuff. I'm just making sure. All the extra stuff for classical conversations that I'm going to be doing with both my daughters. The other video that I will be working on sharing with you guys is what I'm doing and what I have done so far to prep for essentials. My oldest daughter, who is going to be going into 4th grade, that's when you can start Classical Conversations Essentials program. So on top of the foundation stuff, so on top of all the stuff I kind of just showed you for the base memory work, she's also going to be doing this program, which is mainly her English and her writing. And I do a little math and spelling, but it's mostly English and writing, like grammar and writing. I will share another video on that. I must admit, it's a lot. I'm not even sure if I'm 100% in love with how I organized it, but I feel like it's one of those things, once I get into it, I will organize probably things differently. But that's all the extra resources that I am using this year for CC's Classical Conversations Cycle 1 program for my daughters right now when we're doing this. It's our 3rd year and they're in 3rd and 4th grade, just to kind of give you a reference of where they at in grade level. That's it. I love you guys. That was a long one, I know. If you have any questions about any of the resources, just reach out to me. I'm here for you. I'm excited for this school year. I'm excited again to start writing on my tutor board and really finding a new rhythm for my kids and how I'm going to incorporate all these new educational resources to keep going deeper on some of this. So stay tuned for more. Thanks again for watching.